want to talk about, want to start by talking about this new friend in Congo, Jeff, who had left a canker, but his daughter, whom he introduced to egg, refused to change and refused to follow him and continued under Master Harold. So he had great qualms about going to the egg center last week, where his daughter was to be married to another eggist at the egg temple, at which ceremony at which the egg clergy, the Rebisar, was to consecrate the marriage. You remember he asked for advice from Nufriend, and I even channeled his consent to you in a past Skype meeting, and then you advised that as a free being of real light, he had no restrictions or limitations and could go anywhere. Well, he took the advice well, and he prepared himself for the event, and to do so, he was constantly singing the new song for a long time within that week, and asked the real guides to be with him at the time he would go to where he considered some dangerous territory. So on the night before the event, he had a real sight experience where he saw a person who was like a skeleton, a living skeleton actually. So he asked himself how it happened that this person had depreciated in health to that extent. So a real guide appears and tells him to observe carefully. Then the real guide takes the flesh, takes off the fresh flesh from around the knee area of the skeleton man. And Jeff sees his veins were starved of blood, and actually yearning for nourishment. So the real guides told him that that is the fate of all who have decided to stay in a canker. So in my comment, they have no blood, no life. They are walking skeletons, walking corpses. So he is startled by this dream, and he gets up. Then he falls asleep again. And has another real side experience where he sees where he's at the marriage consecration ceremony, and 2 candles are lit by the Rebisar, but 2 real guides appear and blow out the candles. In another experience, he sees people coming for the ceremony at the egg temple, and when he arrives, he is told to go and see the Rebisar. So some protocol officer takes him to the Rebisar to see the Rebisar, who is happy at seeing him and embraces him warmly. So now let's go to the physical ceremony proper. So when he goes there on the day of the ceremony or the marriage ceremony, he's warmly welcomed by former egists, and a protocol officer takes him to see the Rebisar, who welcomes him heartily as as he did in the dream. And then he asked that he be given an honorary seat. And then the ceremony begins. The officiator is the Rebisar, and he lights 2 candles. And then the Rebisar proceeds to explain to the audience the importance of fire and water in the ceremony, and then intones the Hugh chant. So as they are singing the Hugh chant, Tonton Jeff goes his own way. He sings the new song loudly with open eyes. So many Ekis open their eyes to look at him, and some listened keenly as he sang the new song. So during the chant and the singing of the new song, the lighted candles go out exactly as it happened in his dream. So the Rebisar lights them back again for the ceremony to continue. However, our Nufriend knows and understands better what has happened. So, Duane, have you any comments or any other participants on this about this dream?
Well, what happened after that, Charles? Did they proceed with the ceremony or what?
Yeah, they proceeded to the ceremony. Proceeded.
So this was a marriage ceremony?
Yeah, that was a marriage ceremony of his daughter to another Ekist at the Egg Center or the Egg Temple there, and which was officiated by the Egg clergy, the Rebisar.
Okay, so was there any afterthoughts or anything from him? Did he express anything or say anything? You've got all this information, so was there anything more?
Nothing more. He just sent me the experience. He says anyone can judge for himself. Could brainstorm on this ceremony.
It's not about that. It's about yeah, I see that. I'm just he had these experiences, and yeah, we'd like to have that. As you see it there, I'm assuming you're reading it, but contact this fella and also have a talk with him about after that. Well, you see that it's all come into all this nonsense, lighting of candles, the fire and water, the ceremony, the whole thing. It's to where everything becomes a strange, ritual. That's all it is. It just becomes a ritual. It's not a reference anymore to anything but a ritual and ideas. And so that's very good. And so people have plenty of information. The real guides, for the most part, they don't interfere with people's free will. If they want to go out and be silly and funny, fine. But this fella asked, he was shown. Yeah, that was very good. Charles, are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a warning for people. It's what it is. It's a very good warning. And we've been doing it for years. But who listens? So, it's a choice people make. And it's just very, very real. It's not only Eckankar, it's the world. People want their little personal whatevers. They got them. Just like every lifetime. Yeah, they will just disappear. So that's it's a warning for the whole world. It's not just for the Ekkas, but they're being silly too. And they're under the control of Harry and Joni. So their choice. Yeah, that's very good, Charles. Thank you. I would like to hear a follow-up if you communicate with this fella and just have a conversation with him. And if he's able to Skype, I'll Skype with him. So if you set that up, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'll talk privately with him on WhatsApp. Yeah, what really strikes me is the presence of candles and water now. things have things have really degenerated in the corporation to this extent that they are using candles now like magicians, like the true magicians that they are. And Tonton Jeff, he was a bit apprehensive about this ceremony because he could not imagine himself attending an egg gathering again. So I personally told him it would be a good publicity stunt for the new presentation if he goes there and he does something, and you see what he does, what he did. He sang the new song in their session, and they were taken aback. Some opened their eyes to look at him and listen to how he was singing the new song. So it's I think it was very a startling experience that he had there.
Yeah, it takes a bit of courage to do that, and also, etc. But after a while, realistically, just like, we have all the religions around here, whatever, it's the same. Doesn't matter if you were a former member or whatever, we've all come through whatever. And it's fine for that time, but those times are past. And it doesn't work anymore. It's all become disgusting. And so it's really what it is, no matter how, it's just like people do the devil worship and all their ceremonies or whatever, and try to bring this stuff alive and to make it into something it's not. This is the world today. It's the whole world. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. And we know this, and we keep sharing this with people, but they still keep chasing it, don't they? Their choice. And this is why the world is like it is, because people don't see. They don't want to see. Um, okay. But again, if you could, that's cool. Yeah, and we'll take that. If you can give us a transcript of that, even I'll make an image or something out of it. It's very, very good, and I'll probably do a group too.
Yeah, I would talk to him and get more details. Then I put it down and sent to you. Write it out. Yeah, the corporation is made up of walking skeletons. My God, uh, walking corpses. Actually, it's a great revelation. Now, Duane, I found a new presentation. I tried to tell you the other time by googling Rebisar task in other religions. at the at the at the moment I was about to renew my corporation membership after a lapse of 5 years. The day I was trying to, I had arranged with a friend in Minnesota to do the registration for me. I was sending my details and my name and my registration number. At the last minute, some inner voice just told me to Google representatives in other religions. It was quite a crazy idea I had. Uh, what I want to ask is, could this great benefactor of life, who is Rebisar, Could he be known as an angel in the religions? But just that they have no other terminology for the invisible beings they know very little of.
Everybody
Could they?
relates to the ideas they've been brought up with, Charles. So we've all been brought through ideas, and basically unconsciously. In other words, when we were children, we were told certain things by our parents about Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and whatever, and it's all fine. And at some point, we start to decide, consciously or otherwise, we start to decide something. So we figure it out or we don't. Or we just take in what someone else says. And it just depends. So, we're the decider. We decide that. We make the choice, right or wrong or different or whatever. And it's really not about any of that. It's just, we decide. So, somebody that's been brought up in religion, it's going to be angels, gods, saviors as an idea. And experiences with individuals are going to be such as that. Life is not concerned about any of that. These are ideas. Again, learn to sort out creation from what is real, the isness. And the isness, again, is like the sun shining, so it's not concerned, but it shines. It is all. It is everything. And so it is not just someone like a god or a savior and an idea. It is all that is. And so again, people are brought up with ideas. They look through those ideas as something, as a relationship. And it's kind of like wearing a hood and a heavy overcoat and dark glasses or whatever. This is what you're seeing through. And then at some point when you recognize the real universe is, well, you can get rid of all that. You can get rid of all these barriers, all these ideas. And so for a while they carry you, but if you hang on to them, then they become so, then the lifetime is ended again and you come back and you try again. But of course, and people will go into, just like they'll go into Eckankar. And they'll see them as masters. And because of what the corporation is implying, Harold's the master, Joni's really the master, she's the taskmaster. See, everything applies and implies itself. It's right there. So at one time, yes, like parents to children, they were the master of the children. But then when it becomes at a certain point to where they keep, ordering the children around and telling them how to live, then they become the taskmaster. That becomes the difference, you see? Or it becomes some strange emotional attachment, which becomes the same thing. It becomes control. And so this is how they will see it. And so it seems benevolent at first that, oh, I have a master and whatever. But really, it gets to the point where you become the slave. And actually, everybody's the slave. So it just depends upon what the individual is looking through, what idea they've cloaked themselves with, you see? So, and it doesn't matter. But it doesn't define it for the individual because it's recognition. If they can recognize it through that, maybe some can. I don't know. And it's possible to do anything. But it's really the recognition. It's just not the cute idea that's comforting, all right? Because it's eventually to where the individual stands real with the whole of life. That makes sense, where there is no restriction. So at first we start off with ideas, and many people will have these ideas, angels, masters, saviors, whatever. And you can play with that idea, but if you hold to that and your personal life comes first, well, then it's just an idea that you carry from lifetime to lifetime unconsciously and do not recognize your real position, the whole. So that's a choice too. You have to take the risk.